Hello, this is Matt with Cooler. I wanted to go over the insulated garage door. There are a couple types of doors. We offer the Rainer Aspen Door as our primary go-to insulated door, and that is a sandwich steel door. What that means is there are two pieces of steel, front and back, and insulation is in between them. Now there's a different door out there that is more economical for outbuildings, for buildings that don't need to be heated, or an insulated door, and it's called a steel pan door. And the way that differs is one of those pieces of steel are gone. And you just have a steel piece folded into the shape of a panel, and it's an open back. And we can put insulation on the back of that, but the main difference is that it's one piece of steel versus the sandwich steel. When you buy insulation, be sure to get a true thermal break so that these pieces of steel are not touching. Otherwise, you'll have conduction of heat and cold through there, and it'll just bypass the insulation. When we go on price doors, the steel pan door is less expensive than the sandwich steel door for obvious reasons of more materials, and insulation can add to cost. So if you're going to pay for insulation, get a true thermal break. The Aspen Door from Rainer is our most popular door that we sell in our Gunnison Valley area, and we have cold winters. So we want a door that's going to be well insulated and airtight. And the Aspen does both of those. So on the Aspen Door, there's two different models, a 2-inch and then an 1 3/8. And we've got a polyurethane insulation that's blown into it. I've seen this in the factories. They've got an individual that sits there watching a camera as these two sheets of metal go into a machine where that insulation is blown. They're coming together. And there's an individual looking with a camera looking for gaps in insulation, right? So what that means is that we just know coming out of the factory that Rainer's going to have a very well insulated door. There's not going to be any bubble gaps, air gaps in this insulation. It's really well done. The other thing that the Aspen does is in between the panels, that panel to panel seam. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a rubber gasket in here, a bulb seal, that's going to create an airtight gap. So this is a very airtight door, and then we'll put perimeter seals on the tops and sides and on the bottom, of course, as well. The last thing I wanted to mention, I talked about a thermal break. And in the sandwich steel doors, not every door maker does this, but in the sandwich steel doors, like I said, there's the back piece of steel and the front piece. And right in between, we want to make sure that they're not touching. So Rainer in their Aspen puts a piece of plastic in here, and so these pieces are not touching. And what that means is the insulation is going to work. When we're installing panels, especially long panels, on a hot day with the sun hitting, what we can see is this panel starting to bow out. And what that is that front piece of metal expanding because of the heat, and the back piece of metal is not, because the insulation is working, right? So with that true thermal break, that is key. There's some manufacturers out there that have a similar pricing to insulated doors as a Rainer does, or any of the other top ones do, but they don't have that thermal break. So if you're going to pay for insulation, get the thermal break. If you want to see any of the design opportunities that come with the Rainer Aspen from the factory finish, or what we can do as Cooler in our customization, let us know. We'd love to chat, and we can have lots of opportunities to explore different aesthetics, but that's the breakdown of an insulated garage door. Thanks so much for listening.